Okay, here we go. I did it. I just submitted my final paper for my final class in my online master's degree. That means I'm done. I'm done. The most amazing thing is not just that I completed a master's degree alongside working multiple part-time jobs, doing lots of freelance gigs, having lots of hobbies. It's that I was able to commit to something for a solid 2 years. Hello, multi-passionate friends. It's me, Genie, the scanner, multipotentialite, dilettante, whatever you want to call me. If these words aren't making any sense to you, you must be new here. So please check out the description down below for a brief explanation, and welcome. I recently hit a huge milestone in my life, as you saw. So I've been planning to make a video showing me in the planning stages of figuring out what to do next with my life. Being a multi-passionate person, I have always thrived on some level of chaos. I've always felt the need to add some kind of variety to my life, be it through hobbies, personal projects, jobs, and studies. I've been actively studying something for as long as I can remember, and I like to set really big educational goals for myself. I usually feel the typical rush of relief when I do reach a goal, but I'm also the kind of person that has another goal set up ready to begin as soon as I finish the previous one. I never really give myself a break, but after all is said and done, I'm still human, and despite loving a chaotic and busy lifestyle, I'm prone to burnout. So yeah, this video took a turn and became something totally different, but I feel like being overwhelmed is a common occurrence for multi-passionate people because of the sheer amount of things that we're interested in, that we want to do, that we put ourselves through. I wanted to show you guys how I get through it, how I pick myself up, and how I figure out what to do next. This whole episode began with me finishing my master's. Now that I'm done with my master's, I know that I've hit a major educational milestone, and I do feel relieved, but honestly, I'm feeling a little bit more antsy than anything. I need to figure out what my next big educational goal is going to be. I want to study something totally new, but I seriously have no idea what. I'm really worried that without a new goal, I might start feeling a bit down for not having, something to look forward to, something that I'm actively working on. On the other hand, I feel ridiculously tired. I've been working a lot, I've been taking on new projects, and doing this master's degree, it was a lot. I know that I should give myself a break, but I also feel a little bit of guilt for not pursuing one of my ideas or interests. Anyways, I've got some time now. I'm going to do a bit of research and see if I can't figure out my next move. I have a nice long list of ideas and things that interest me. I just have to figure out how I can actually carry them out. Yeah, let's see what I can find. So whenever I encounter discomfort in my life, I often find solace in familiar comforts, like rewatching a favorite TV series or playing a childhood favorite video game. And then this winter, just as I desperately needed some kind of retreat, the remake of one of my favorite childhood video games, Final Fantasy VII, released its second part. I couldn't resist the pull back into that world, and all my plans for further studies after my master's were kind of shelved. But to be honest, this diversion was incredibly refreshing. I think in today's relentless hustle culture, there's an overwhelming pressure to constantly be productive or to actively pursue specific goals. And especially if you're a multi-passionate kind of person, you already have so many ideas and things that you want to do just queuing in your brain. So you feel like if you're not actively working on at least one of them, you're going to run out of time. I mean, I feel like we know that we can't realistically do everything, but you at least want to do some of them. And it feels almost like it's a waste to spend it on video games. But I think that it's very important to remember that hustle isn't always necessary. For someone with a multi-passionate personality, taking time for self-care is crucial. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself amidst all of the chaos that you put yourself through. So if you're anything like me, identifying who you are as a person, it feels like sifting through a hoarder's house. Occasionally, I just need to stop and ask, where is Genie? What happened to her in all of this chaos? So yeah, engaging in some self-care, finding comfort in things that I genuinely like to do that aren't jobs or study, just pure pleasure-inducing activities is very, very helpful. So as the new school year approached, I knew that it was time for a change and I was ready. It was time to figure out my next steps. Now, I'm not talking about long-term future planning. I've never been one to plan too far ahead. I know that in the future, I'm going to be a different person with different interests and different priorities. I instead focus on the present and the near future. Just figuring out how to keep myself happy and engaged. This helps to satisfy my multi-passionate craving for variety while also maintaining stability in my life. So to clear my head and get a little bit more perspective, I sat down and began making lists. If you've been watching my other videos, you know that I really love journaling as a method to just organize my ideas and just pull them out of my brain and get them in front of me so I can process them properly. And I especially love making lists. The book How to Be Everything also has some really good list making exercises for when you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your career or pursuits or other things. The process starts with jotting down a comprehensive list of everything that interests you. And using a combination of circles, underlines, you gradually narrow your focus to identify pursuits that are not only appealing but also feasible. So I applied this method to determine my next steps. I wasn't looking to change jobs or careers necessarily, but I knew that I wanted to introduce some kind of change into my life. Basically narrowed it down to 3 options. One was to pursue another degree or to take some kind of an online course, getting a certification or whatnot. Option number 2 involved taking on a new work project that I was offered that seemed like a promising gateway that would open up to new gigs in the future. And option number 3 was saying no to new jobs and projects and scaling back on work so that I could have more time to focus on my passion projects. So to me, passion projects are more than just hobbies. They are endeavors that deeply interest me, projects which I see significant potential in, and that I'm willing to invest my time and or money into pursuing a little bit more seriously than I might a hobby. So for option number 1, I went ahead and I listed all of the subjects that I was interested in studying. I narrowed them down and I researched programs and costs. I calculated how long each would take and what the potential benefits would be for me after completion. But the reality of spending time and money, coupled with the need to work more in order to afford education, really dampened my enthusiasm. And that's kind of the problem that I ran into with my master's. The threat of burnout from overworking again was too much of a risk. For option number 2, I had the chance to expand on my career by doing some more curriculum design type work, which I really like. I was offered to take part in a pretty big project that could lead into more permanent work later on, and I thought this could be a good way to transition my career from being an on-the-ground educator to a more behind-the-scenes educator. I got some really good ideas. However, when I really thought about it, I knew that it was going to take up way too much time and it was going to require way too much of my focus. That wasn't exactly something I was interested in at this time. One thing I did kind of put like a little star next to was the idea of starting a teachers pay teacher store. So yeah, I decided to kind of move that one over to passion project side of things. So the last option was to reduce my workload and focus on passion projects. And suddenly, as I was going through my list, my mind was overflowing with ideas. I mentioned before what exactly I consider passion projects, and right now I would say I have three main ones. The first one being writing. I'm working on a novel, and being a writer is one of the dreams that have actually stuck with me and haven't faded. But yeah, because of my busy lifestyle, I hadn't really had that much time to sit down and write. So it's really something that I'm very much passionate about and interested in doing and focusing more on right now. My second passion project is this YouTube channel. Here I aim to connect with others who share the multi-passionate personality type and to demonstrate what a realistic life looks like for someone like me. I really want to be transparent about my highs and lows, showing that I'm not always pushing boundaries or chasing new goals. I get overwhelmed too. I also have so many ideas for videos, and this is my biggest problem with this YouTube channel. But it really just comes down to I need to actually like script and research and film and edit. It's a lot, but I really want to keep doing it. So I want to give myself more time to focus on it. And then for my third one, this is where I decided to add the Teachers Pay Teacher online resource store. This is really great as a passion project because I already have a lot of the material ready. I just need to kind of do it, upload it, make it sellable. Ultimately, the significant change that I figured out I needed was to scale back on professional commitments to make room for what truly excites me. This decision was really tough though. I struggle with turning down work and letting people down. Basically since Corona, when I did have like a little bit of a crisis when I was out of work, I have been just a yes man. I take almost every opportunity presented to me, and sometimes I prioritize those commitments over like my own interests. So I think that it really is time for me to prioritize my own passions, and it's kind of necessary for my overall happiness and well-being. And here we are now. It's spring. Life is good. With a lighter yet still diverse schedule, I found the space to focus what I'm truly passionate about, and it feels great. I do admit it's a bit daunting because my whole life I've been driven by my educational goals. I'm still working, of course, but my schedule now allows for more free time than before, and I'm doing work that I'm used to doing, familiar work. I'm not taking on any new work. And with my free time, I'm dedicating it to my passion projects and, of course, my hobbies. So if you're someone like me who has recently been kind of hard on yourself, trying to do too much at once, setting way too many goals, maybe it's time to take a step back, slow down, and really think about what makes you happy. What do you truly want to pursue? What would it take to get there? And what can you realistically scale back on? Making lists helps me greatly, so give it a try and see how it works for you. And thanks so much for watching. I'm thrilled that my videos on multipotentialite and multi-passionate personality type have reached so many of you, and your comments all make me so happy. I'll be creating more videos about each book that I recommend, so stay tuned if you're on this multi-passionate discovery journey. Please share your experiences with burnout down below, or just let me know what you're currently passionate about. Again, thanks as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! What is he doing?